What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and this is Luke Cage, Season 1, Episode 5, Just to Get a Rep. Things are starting to get going, and I'm loving it. It's, like I said, with all these Marvel Netflix shows, it feels like it takes a few episodes before stuff finally starts to get rolling. We start to get in a bit more action, we get into a bit more of the main story, moving on. We finally hit that point, I feel like, because everything that happens in this episode, it feels like we finally learned a bit more. So anyways, let's talk about it. Cottonmouth has finally decided if I can't hurt him, the best way I can do it is to hurt the people around him and get them to be mad enough to drive him out of town. And unfortunately that completely backfires because all it does is just get Luke Cage even more riled up and pretty much takes the battle to him. But it was kind of interesting to see, everybody what they were doing. He was just getting money from people and saying, hey, it's Luke Cage's fault, blame him. And then the people just come to him and are just like, hey, why are they taking money from me? They said talk to you. He's just like, I got it. And they're just like, hey, but I need the money. He's like, I just said I got it. I would say that's the one thing that I have an issue with, is that some of the people in this episode are a little bit unreasonable with their frustrations. Like, I understand, okay, they're saying it's Luke Cage's fault and that's why you had to give up the money. So then you come and talk to him and he's just like, I'll handle it. And then you talk to him again like he just said, it's your own problem. What? Like, hey, they took my money, I'll handle it. No, I need that money. What did I just say? Did I just say take care of it yourself? No, I said I'll handle it. Why are you guys getting so frustrated with me? At least that would be what I would say if I was Luke, but whatever. It's a minor gripe, but it is something that I just, especially the Aisha girl about her ring, it's like all of her frustration is directed at Luke. It's just like, just because these guys said blame him, you're really going to blame him for it? Like, does that make any sense at all? No. What is wrong with you people? But anyway, all that happens, everybody's getting stuff taken from him, so Luke tracks down these guys. It shows a few scenes, like there's one girl who had her tip money taken from her, so he has her show him the guys that took it. He goes up to him and just pretty much sets a standard, knocks one guy out with one hit. The other guy just takes the money from him and says, when you wake up, tell the people to stop using my name. She said, what do you mean wake up? And that's what I mean wake up. Like, what do you think I mean when you wake up? I'm about to knock you hell out. Use your brain, dude. But that little scene leads into, all of a sudden Luke Cage sees there's a guy, one of Cottonmouth's men got shot, and come to find out Aisha's the one that shot him because she's taken matters into her own hands to find this ring. So Luke Cage uses a bunch of information to find the guy that took the ring. The guy, once again, thinking he can do something about it, takes out a gun, shoots Luke twice, and Luke gets the ring back from him. Goes to find Aisha, but I think it was her father is there and kind of a bum right now. I think the ring that was stolen was her grandfather's, who used to play on the Mets, I think was the storyline there. So it's like, to her and to the people of the community, the ring means a lot. It's kind of like, Jackie Robinson, I think, has talked to. In fact, maybe that's whose ring it was. I can't remember. I remember Jackie Robinson was talked about because they were rolling the dice. They were playing games or something. When Zip was talked to by Luke Cage, they were playing games on the Jackie Robinson Memorial or something around it. And Luke Cage is just like, do you even know what this means? And it's kind of interesting to see how, they had the Crispus Attucks memorial. They've had now Jackie Robinson mentioned. It's interesting to see how they're kind of bringing that sort of, do you not know your history? And even, Cottonmouth has brought it up a couple times, how he wants to be one of those black guys that's made it. Has made the money, has brought the club in, and just, he's made it. It's very interesting to see how they're tying this all together. And, obviously, I'm white, so I can't really relate to that. But it's interesting to see how they're bringing in the black history. People like Jackie Robinson, people like Crispus Attucks, black people in history that have done amazing things. I love how they're tying that in because that can be a thing to use. Especially one of the main storylines going on is the Harlem Renaissance. Talking about bringing in a new era. I like that. It's something that I haven't really seen in a superhero show before. This thought of we need to honor Black history. That's not something that's been talked about before. The other two Netflix shows are Jessica Jones and Daredevil. Both of them are white, so it's like you can't really do that here. With Luke Cage, you can bring that in. You can bring that in to sort of show, okay, obviously race is kind of a big issue right now in America, so let's show the awesomeness of Black people. That type of thing. I really like how they're handling it. They're doing a good job of it. So anyway, long story short, he gets the ring back, can't find Aisha, but finds her father, who's a bum now, tries to convince him, hey, you need to step your game up, you're not doing right by her, type of thing. And I can't remember whether it was before or after he got the ring back, but he pays a visit to Cottonmouth's club. All the guys there try to take him on for some reason. At this point, it's just like, you guys really think you can do anything to him? I can't imagine being one of those guys and actually thinking, hey, I've got a chance right now. This guy tried to hit him with a pipe and he didn't even move. The pipe bounced off of him pretty much. This guy shot him and the bullets bounced off of him. What do I think I could do with my fist? I'm curious to see if there's ever going to be henchmen that just run away because they finally realized, okay, we can't do damage to him at this point. But anyway, finally have a moment though where Shades realizes who he is, Carl Lucas. So it's interesting to see that now they know his backstory, now they know who he is, and on top of that, he shows Cottonmouth a weapon that apparently can penetrate some of the strongest Kevlar. Bizarrely, at first I was wondering, they brought out this gun and they had a guy wearing Kevlar. They said it was the strongest form of Kevlar. I was just like, wait, are they seriously going to sacrifice this person as a demonstration? And then it shot and completely blocked, and the guy was completely fine. He was just smiling for a second, oh, so this is a demonstration that maybe this Kevlar can match what? What are they trying to show? And all of a sudden you hear this drilling noise, and all of a sudden the guy's just what? And then he just explodes. I'm just they are sacrificing a guy to make a demonstration. I don't know why you couldn't use a mannequin, but okay. Apparently they think this is going to work against Luke Cage, and apparently it's not earthly technology. It's supposed to be alien technology. I like that. I said, I think a couple reviews ago, I want to see a storyline where it's okay, obviously bullets can't stop him, nothing can really stop him, so we need to have Cottonmouth find something that can stop him, or else it's going to feel like it's an unfair fight. He now has. He's found something that looks like it's alien technology, so it looks like it'll probably be able, to stop him. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe he's strong enough to even stop that alien technology, but we'll see how that goes. But unfortunately for Cottonmouth, he doesn't really have the resources to, pay for such bullets. So he's trying to get the guns for Domingo, the Mexican drug dealer, gun dealer. I don't really know what he sells, but trying to get the guns back from evidence to give to him so he can get the money to pay for the bullets. And ultimately we have a very strange scene where Scarf, Misty Knight, she's being talked to by, I think, the captain and another cop about how Scarf is apparently under investigation because Chico disappeared after he was supposed to talk to him. And so we have kind of this strange scene where they're talking to her about it. She's like, no, it can't be. I've known him for years. And then they're just be careful. And all of a sudden she leaves while Scarf comes in. And then Scarf gets a text message. And apparently the cop that was talking to Misty along with the captain tells him, hey, you're under investigation. But Cottonmouth needs you to go get the guns out of evidence. So he goes and gets the guns. And then he gets a text message from Cottonmouth, do you have it? and then he responds with, types in yes, deletes it, and then, puts the guns back in the van and drives away. I don't know what that means. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it was just kind of bizarre that it was in there. And then on top of that, you also have the final scene in the funeral service for Pops, or Pop, whatever you want to call him. They have the funeral service, and it's kind of interesting to see. First, Cottonmouth stands up, gives like this speech about how the community needs to band together against, make it to where people that with abilities, they need to be pushed out, type of thing. And I'm just like, that's interesting. I feel like he should have gone last with that one to sort of like make it seem like the community is against Luke Cage. And then Luke stands up, gives his speech about how the community needs to stand together against bullies because, that's what Pop would have wanted. And then everybody just starts cheering and applauding. I'm just like, that's interesting to me. Like, because most of the time in situations like that, I feel like it would normally be where Luke Cage is there as Cottonmouth is giving his speech, and everybody just rallies behind him, and you could see the look on his face like he feels antagonized. But in this case, even though he did give a speech that antagonized him, Luke just got up and just gave his own speech, and that turned it back on to Cottonmouth, and now all of a sudden he is the one that's being antagonized. I love how they did that. It was very clever. It was not normally what I expect in a scene like that. And it's the first time, I think, where in a situation where normally Luke Cage should be feeling the pressure, all of a sudden he's flipped it around and made Cottonmouth feel the pressure. And not that, Luke Cage is going to have an easy time of it throughout this entire season. I feel like at some point he is going to be backed up against the ropes. He's going to hit a point where people do start hating him. I don't know when that's going to happen, but most of the time you can't have a good and intense show if your character is unbeatable, unbreakable, and never faces any opposition. So I feel like we are going to hit a moment where the community does turn against Luke. I don't know when it's going to happen, but that will be interesting to see. But for right now, it's interesting how everybody sort of rallied behind Luke against Cottonmouth. So I like that little storyline they got going on there. But, that's pretty much the main story. The way it ends is a bit frustrating because Misty, you can see, is just really naive. Like, she's saying, you need to leave because, Cottonmouth is hurting people to get to everybody else, so you need to leave so it'll stop. Lady, he's not going to stop just because Luke Cage leaves. If anything, he'll feel even more powerful for running Luke Cage out of town and will start to do even worse things. I'm just like, really? Like, you people, you're stupid to think that, oh yeah, let's kick out the one guy that's actually protecting us from the bad guy. Like, what is it? It's just like, and can't believe I'm making this reference here, but Transformers, the third movie, probably, in my opinion, the best of the four movies, still not good, but there's a moment where they're like, we need the Autobots to leave, and then the Decepticons come in and just start killing everybody. Like, the Autobots were the last line of defense, now we're just going to step in and start killing everyone. That is one of the things that I thought was actually very good about the movie, was that it showed that the humans were idiots for letting the Autobots leave, or kicking the Autobots out, because pretty much that's what the Decepticons wanted. It was like, that's how I feel right here. If you kick Luke Cage out, that's your last line of defense against Cottonmouth. All that's going to do is just empower him even more and make him even more antagonistic against the rest of the people. He'll start collecting all this money, he'll start ruling with an iron fist. Can't wait to see that Marvel show. But anyway, it's stupid for you to think that that is actually a good idea, at least in my opinion. So I don't know, maybe she'll realize soon that she's making a mistake, but I feel like it's a logical line of thinking to think, okay, Luke Cage is protecting the people, we need to keep him around or else we have no defense against Cottonmouth. So that's what I'm thinking about her, but maybe she'll change, maybe she won't, we'll see what happens. The other storyline they've got going on that didn't really connect to the main story, I don't know really where it's going to go, but Claire, I think is her name, she has come from Hell's Kitchen, as she, like, at the end of Daredevil, season 2, at the end of Daredevil season 2, she was kicked out of the hospital because they were trying to cover up what was going on there, and instead, told her to pretty much keep silent about it, and she didn't want to, so they fired her. She is now here, which kind of throws a wrench into my theory from earlier. I honestly thought this was going to be Luke Cage before he meets Jessica, because like I thought that the way it worked was, I don't know, it felt like he was a bartender in Jessica Jones because he was done working at the barbershop after what happens in this season. Like I don't know. That's just what it felt like. It felt like he was working in the barbershop and now he's a bartender. Because when they're talking about him working in the barbershop, it felt like that's what he's been doing ever since what happened with Reva. But we know after what happened in Jessica Jones season 1, he found out what happened to Reva because he was there, he was working at the bar. Like I don't know, it seems weird to me. It seems like it's out of order in the timeline. Maybe I'll have to go back and watch Jessica Jones and see what he said, like what they talked about, all that stuff. Because it feels like all that happened after what happened here. Because it feels like as soon as he was done in prison, he went and started working here at the barbershop. But it feels like now that Claire is here and now that she has talked about everything that happened in Daredevil and in Jessica Jones, it feels like that has happened first and now this is happening. So why did he leave from there and come back here and now is working at a barbershop, which they say, I don't know. I'm a little bit confused. Maybe I need to go back and watch Jessica Jones again to really understand it. But anyway, she's now in town. She recognizes Luke from when she had to work on him, when Jessica shot him in the chin with a shotgun. So once again, we're getting some connectivity between the three shows, which I do like. I like the fact that they're all connecting together. Much like how the CW's DC shows connect. Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, they all connect because they have characters that intertwine. So I do like what they've done so far. Bringing her in it's a nice way to tie it all together, but it does throw a bit of a wrench into my thoughts of the timeline. So hopefully I understand it a bit better, but we'll see. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What did you like and not like about this episode? All that good stuff. Let me know. We can talk about it, discuss it. Leave a like and subscribe for future Luke Cage reviews, and I'll see you at the next one. Peace out.